Good morning, everyone. How's everybody today? I hope everybody had a great holiday, whether you were celebrating Yule or Christmas or Hanukkah or Festivus or whatever you were celebrating. I hope everybody had a good time. I got to spend an awesome evening with my family, so just doing a little smudge here this morning real quick. All right. And I'm going to just remember to pop on and invite a few people. Picked all my stuff up for everybody to come, and I didn't quite get everything back the way it was, but that's okay. We're going to invite some people here. So I hope everybody, like I said, got to have a great holiday, got to spend time with family. We had some crazy weather here. It was all rainy and warm, and now it's all icy. Someone said it's supposed to be 40 degrees this weekend here, so we'll see if that's true. So as everybody knows, like I said, I'm just inviting some people here. Everybody knows we're coming up on the calendar New Year. For the Celtic holiday, New Year's is actually back in Samhain, which is, you guys know, as Halloween. But we're going to talk today about some, what you guys would call a New Year's resolution. It's a good time to set intention. We've talked about setting intention before. We've talked about it at the new moon. That's always a really good time to set intention. So we're going to just kind of talk about what you guys would call a New Year's resolution, and just kind of how to set that up for yourself. Sorry, I'm still trying to invite people here. How you would want to set that up and maybe help carry it through. Most of us set a New Year's resolution and we're like really all gung-ho and we're awesome at it for January. And then we kind of give up on it. And part of the reason we do that is I think we set resolutions that are unrealistic, that are we've kind of set ourselves up to fail on it, or we have expectations that we're going to set this resolution and that it's going to be done. New Year's resolutions are not resolutions that are going to be done in January. They're a time where you want to set and really think about what you want to set for resolution and intention, and make it something that you really, really want to do, and something that's realistic for you. So now that I kind of gave up a whole big speech on that anyway, that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more today. So like I said, this is the calendar New Year coming up, but I typically celebrate a little bit differently, because Samhain is the Celtic New Year, which is the wheel of the year. But it is a good time to set an intention, a resolution, whatever you want to call it. And so basically when we do this, we're setting something that we want to be better about ourselves, whether it be people say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, or I'm going to work out on the treadmill every day, I'm going to quit smoking, all those things. Basically, if somebody's setting a New Year's resolution or an intention, it's for the purpose to better yourself. But sometimes I think you need to really sit and think a little bit more about what that is that you're setting for yourself, because go back to relationship examples because people are always curious about those. But if you're having a hard time in a relationship and you set the resolution that I'm going to work really hard and I'm going to do everything I can to make him happy or her happy, and make this relationship work? Is that actually for your best? Is that for your higher good? Is that relationship maybe something you should not work so hard at and not have to change everything about yourself to make it work? Not to say that relationships are not hard and that you don't have to work at them, because that's not true. You always have to compromise and have give and take in a relationship. But if you're the one that's constantly having to change and struggle and work, that's probably not in your best interest. So, saying at New Year's that you're going to spend the whole year changing yourself to make somebody else happy is really not, in my opinion, what you should be doing. You need to be setting these resolutions or intentions for yourself, for your higher good, for your purpose. We always want to be a better person for someone, and that's perfectly fine too. I always say that, my husband makes me want to be a better person, and hopefully I want to make him be a better person. But it's not because, I don't need to constantly work to please him. That's a little, there's a difference there for you. So again, make sure that what the attention that you're setting is for your higher good, for your better purpose, and not just to be pleasing someone else. The other thing, is, again, when you're setting these intentions, if you say, I'm going to work out on the treadmill every day for 20 minutes. Well, are you really going to do that? Probably not. You say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Okay, well, that's a little bit better, because you're not setting yourself up saying that you've got to use that treadmill every single day. But you could just simply say you're going to continue to work to be a healthier you. And then you're not setting yourself up for that failure, because I think what happens is you say, I'm going to work out on the treadmill every day for 20 minutes. And then by mid-January, you've missed 4 days, and you're like, well, that didn't work. Done with that. Or if you say, I'm going to lose 20 pounds, come February or March, when you've only lost 3 pounds, you're going to be like, well, that's not working. I'm not doing that anymore. So setting an intention that's more of a realistic or more open-ended, so you're not limiting yourself or setting yourself up for that failure. So just kind of really sit and think about what it is that you want to be better, and think about how you can word your intention or your resolution so that it's not going to be restricting, but it's not going to be putting you in a place where you feel like you failed and you're just done with it. You're not doing it anymore. On a side note, my opinion for that is, if plan A doesn't work, you can always go to plan B or plan C or plan D. There's lots of letters in the alphabet. So if you do say, I'm going to work out on the treadmill every day for 20 minutes, and come January 17th or 18th, you've only done it 3 times, you can go back and say, okay, well, that really wasn't working. What is more realistic? You don't have to say, well, I said in January and I didn't do it, so now it's not going to happen. You can still change it. You can, you don't have to give up on it if it's not working for you. You can go ahead and reevaluate and change it up so it works better for you. There's nothing saying once you've set it January 1st or December 31st that has to be, that's it, it's set in gold, you can't change it. So that's kind of about that. So before you set your intention, though, I just want to remind everybody that it's a really good time. We just had the holidays, and everybody's crazy and shopping and running around, and family at the house, and kids are crazy. And so just it's a really good time to take the next couple of days before we actually get into the new year to go back and work on some of your self-care tips that we talked about before. one of them is always smudging. That's just a really good way to smudge. You don't have a smudge bundle or a Paleo Santo stick, you can certainly just use some of your own herbs. If you have a fireproof dish or a metal plate or something, just burn a bay leaf or some spices out of your cupboard. I mean, you can always find a little way to do that. Incense is also a really good way to smudge as well. So if you have some incense, you can use those. Grounding, which is a little bit more difficult for us here in New Hampshire because I am not going outside barefoot and sitting on the grass today. It is way too cold and there's no grass up there. But you can still kind of do the visualization part of the grounding. We've talked about that before too. So if you just talk or sit and, close your eyes and visualize, I do recommend, you still take your, your socks and shoes off and put both feet flat on the floor. I know it's not the same as actually touching, the grass or the dirt, but I think it's still good for your visualization to do that. And just visualize again that energy from the earth coming up into the bottom of your feet, moving up through your legs, and at the same time that light that's coming in is pushing any negativity out. And I like to picture it as like this black goopy kind of tar kind of stuff. So I visualize the light pushing that up through my legs, my body, and then out through my arms, and then the black goopy stuff kind of drips off your fingers and back into the earth where Gaia, Mother Earth, can change that back into positive energy and give it back to it some other time. So, meditation, visualization, I cannot say that word today, I guess. You can just work on some of your breathing techniques. You could do a salt bath, or again, not everybody has a bathtub. I don't have a bathtub where I can really get in there and do a salt bath, but I do have a little bottle of homemade bath salts, not the illegal kind, that I keep in my bathroom, in my shower, and I just kind of, when I'm in there, I take a shower, I just scoop out some and rub it and just kind of rub it on. You don't have to do a big heavy coat or anything. And, if you feel like somebody that, just put the same jar, put some salt next to your sink where you wash your hands. And just, every once in a while, just go in and wash your hands and rub that salt over your hands. That's a good way to do it as well. So just, we're going to, try to release the energy of 2018. Even if you didn't have a bad year, I don't think I had a bad year. But you still just want to we're going to leave 2018 behind, and we're going to go into 2019 kind of with a fresh, clean slate, with an open mind, ready for change and progress and learning and all the great things. I don't know. I don't know if you guys read a lot of metaphysical stuff, or if you're on any kind of astrological sites or anything like that, but like everything I'm reading is like 2019 is going to be like a kick-ass year. So I'm kind of excited to see if that's true. I'm starting my new class in just a few weeks, because it's starting, I think my first class is January 9th. So I'm super excited for that, to see where that goes, and hopefully be able to share some of that stuff with you guys as well. But anyway, that's a side note. So I just think it's a really good time. Today's the 27th, so you got a couple of days till the 31st to just take this time to kind of hibernate, to cleanse, to relax, smudge, all those self-care tips that we've talked about. It's just a really good time for that before we go into New Year's. And so when you're going to set your intention or your resolution, like I said, just really kind of sit with it for a while. Again, you can, while you're sitting and thinking about leaving 2018 behind, you can also sit and think about what you're going to want to set for an intention for 2019. I don't really have to sit too much and think about it. My plan for 2019 is just to keep learning and being able to bring that to you guys. So that's going to be my focus, is to learn as much as I can, to share as much as I can. And hopefully somebody out there will be grateful that I'm sharing it with them. So just make sure, like I said, that you're setting that for really your own best interest, that you're not setting a resolution for someone else. We are here to be in relationships and to be with our companions, and we want to make them happy. But if the person you're with, you have to change everything about yourself to be with them, it's probably not the right person. But that's really not what I'm here to talk about today. But side note, because I know, my son, he, has this girl. Hopefully he's done with now, but he's tried and tried and tried and tried to make her happy, and she's just never happy. So sometimes it's just best to move on and find somebody else. So I did want to just go over a couple of things here. As always, I always have some, tips, guides, steps, whatever you want to call them. Just some steps for setting your intention. One of the things, like I said, first of all, you're going to want to smudge. You're going to want to prepare your space. So whether that's with, again, sage, the Palo Santo sticks, some incense, you can use some herbs. A bay leaf is a really good one to just burn if you have it. I like to crumple them up and put them on my charcoal disc. But if you don't have a charcoal disc, like I said, as long as you've got even like a frying pan or something that's just going to be heat resistant, you can put the leaf in there and burn it, and that will work as well. You don't need to have anything too fancy. You can use some gemstones at this time of year to help with that if you'd like. Smoky quartz, shungite, or some kyanite are some good ones for that. I can probably get some links and put them up for a couple of them underneath in the comments today for you, if that's something that you were looking for. None of them are like super expensive stones. So, and like I said, I prefer the smaller stones. If you come into my house, everything you see is like, these are like some of the bigger ones that I have. I usually like to have a nice small tumbled stone, because to me they're easier to work with. You can put them in your pocket. You can take them places where if you have this like huge stone or crystal, you can't. Even my generators, a lot of people like to have really huge generators, and someday I probably will, just because I think they're pretty. But even my generators are usually pretty tiny, because I think they're just easier to work with, and I don't have a ton of space in my house, so I keep them small. So, but if you want to go out and spend $100 on a smoky quartz generator, knock yourself out. But you don't need to. You can spend $4 or $5. And with crystals, bigger isn't better. It's setting the intention and just using it. So getting a bigger stone doesn't change any of that. It doesn't make a bigger vibration. It's the same vibration. So anyway, so just kind of smudging, clearing your space, getting ready, because you want to get rid of any kind of negativity that is in your house. Like I said, I don't have a ton here, but I still like to sage. I sage my phone, I sage my laptop, because negative energy can come in through there. If you've had a lot of people in your house, you might want to sage. I did have a lot of people here, but there wasn't really any negative energy, but I still might just go around before New Year's and still sage anyway. If nothing else, it is really good for killing off bacteria in the air as well. So if you have someone who's sick, smudging can be good for clearing the air for that as well. So keep that in mind. So envisioning your wish. So again, just really kind of sitting and thinking with it, and really kind of putting it into a perspective of not setting that intention to something that's just going to fail for you. You want to set it in a realistic way, and you want it to be something that's for your own higher good. So again, don't necessarily say I'm going to work out on the treadmill every day for 20 minutes because you're setting yourself up for failure. Say I'm going to, work out whatever's a realistic time for you, 2 to 3 times a week, or something like that. Just fit it for you. I mean, we all know. I know my weaknesses. If I sat here right now and told you I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to eat only vegetables and healthy food, I'd break it in 2 days because I'm a candy junk holic. But I try to watch what I eat. I try to limit what I eat. I try to keep the quantity down. Like I might have candy, but I eat it in hopefully proportioned amounts. I try to keep my calorie counts, and so I've figured over the years I figured out what has worked for me, and go from there. So yourself. Be honest with yourself, and set a resolution or intention that is going to be something that's going to work for you. And again, if you set it and within 3 or 4 weeks it's not working for you, don't drop it. Just change it. Figure out, okay, what's not working and how can I make this work and how can I change it? Again, like I said, don't worry about the little details. If you're, again, I'm going back to the same things, but if you say, I'm going to work out every day on the treadmill for 20 minutes, what are you really trying to accomplish? Are you trying to lose weight? Are you just trying to be a healthier person? Are you trying to get ready for a marathon? What is the purpose of that for you? And make that the resolution, not the little detail part of it. So leave it kind of the bigger picture, and then all the little details you can kind of figure out as you're going along, instead of setting one detail and failing at it and then not ever getting to that bigger picture that you really want. Write your intentions down. We've talked about this at New Moon. Write it on a leaf, a bay leaf, anything you write it on a piece of paper. A lot of times for New Moon, when I write down my intention, I write it on a leaf and I put it in my New Moon jar. But sometimes maybe we need this in a spot that is a little bit more visual for us. So even if it's a sticky note on your fridge door with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, to manifest. And so somewhere where you're going to see that. Your mirror in the morning when you get up and get dressed and brush your teeth. Put that word on your mirror. Put it on your fridge. At your desk. On your laptop. Wherever. Someplace that it's going to be there to kind of keep, being that visual. You always will see that I usually have some sort of flash that tool on, and that's my visual reminder to just be a better me, to be kind, to try not to be angry, try not to complain, because I tend to be kind of whiny and complainy at times, and so this is just my visual too, because I see it there, especially I'm at work and I'm typing or I'm driving or whatever I'm doing. Your hands are usually pretty visible. So this is just for me to just kind of remind myself. So use that visual in some way too. If you have something, just for an example, and this is not right or wrong, but you've got engaged and you want to lose weight for your wedding. Just use your engagement ring as your visual reminder. Every time you see that, just kind of be reminding that, okay, instead of a huge piece of cake, I'm going to have just a sliver. So, but writing it down helps too. But any kind of visual. And then just believing in yourself is the biggest thing. You don't have to, again, set this huge intention for anything. You don't have to set it for someone else. You shouldn't be setting it for someone else. You should be setting it for yourself, for your own higher good. And don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. So if you're setting an intention that while you're setting it, you don't even know if you're going to be able to accomplish it, it's probably not the right intention to be setting. you want to be setting something that you're going to be going into this and actually excited about and ready to do. And if you're setting it like, I don't know, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, and you know, I'm never going to lose 50 pounds. Set it for 5, set it for 10. And then when you get there, if it's February or March and you've lost your 10 pounds, you can set it for another 10. But if you set it for 50 and come March you've lost 3 pounds, you're going to get discouraged and you're going to give up. So whatever that intention is, make sure it's something that you believe in and that you're going into it positively and that you really feel like that's something that you can accomplish. And again, if you go into it and you're super excited, like I'm so excited to take these classes and to share everything with you guys. And, you know, maybe come February, March, I'm like, you know what, these classes are, I don't think that's going to happen, but just maybe I sit back and think these classes are really just not worth it. And I drop the class and maybe I find another class to take, or maybe I find a line of books that are good to use, or maybe I find some other videos that I can share with you. Just because if this class doesn't work for me to share with you guys, I'm not going to just say, well, that's it, I'm all done. I'm going to just find something else to continue my learning. So, you know, again, my intention that I'm setting is not to get something out of these classes. My intention for this is to continue my learning to share with you. So this class is a part of that. If the class doesn't work, I still have left room for, I'm going to figure it out some other way and continue to bring you guys knowledge. Hopefully. Hopefully I'm bringing you something for knowledge. So just, yeah, be thinking about over the next few days. Again, you know, you can, if 2018 was a great year for you, awesome. And you can take time to just sit and think about all the great memories and think about how that's going to roll over into 2019 for you. If you've had a bad 2018, this is a good time to just release everything and let it go and be all ready to jump right into 2019. Like I said, I've got some articles that are talking about how amazing 2019 is going to be, and obviously I can't read every article that I come across because I would have to quit my job. But I'll see what I can find for an article, and maybe we can talk about that in the next couple of weeks coming. So like I said, it's coming in January. I'm going to try to hop on about 15 minutes earlier. I know, again, for most of you that doesn't matter because you watch these later. But I want to have a few more minutes with you guys to be able to talk about, we're going to work with the Gemstone Oracle cards, and we're going to work with the Chakra Oracle cards, pulling a card in each day before the live, well, during the live, so we can kind of talk about those and work with those, and just, it's another, just, you know, even if you don't work with the card itself, the cards have great information on them. So that's another way that we're going to bring some information that way. I told you we're going to work on learning about each one of the zodiacs. So we are in the Capricorn. So in the next few weeks, we'll talk about what Capricorn is. I'm hoping to talk a little bit more. We talked about the basics of the zodiac, and we've talked about getting your charts. So if anybody hasn't got their chart yet and they'd like to get their chart, I can put the link up for that as well, because talking about the zodiac stuff is going to make a lot more sense to you if you have your chart. Because if you don't have your chart, you're not going to really know what to pay attention for you, and you're not going to really know what's going to be fitting for you. So again, I can put that link up for you. I can't remember. I can go back through my notes, but I don't think we talked about really what the rising in the moon and all of that stuff was. So we really need to go over some of that before we do the, the actual signs as well. So we've got a couple of good things that we'll be coming up talking about in January. And I don't know what my classes will be, so there'll be information for me that I'm sure I'm going to want to share from there. So I'm pretty excited about all the stuff that we're going to talk about. If anybody has any questions or comments, as always, you can just pop them in the comments below, or you can send me a private message. I've had 3 stones that have been sitting here for a little while that I wanted to talk to you about, so I can get them put away. Sorry, my nose is running all this in here. So this is Spectrolite. And you can't really see it, but it's kind of, it's not really blue and it's not really green. I know the camera's making it look black, but it's not. It's really kind of a green-blue color. Anyway, it's for awakening innate magic, intuition, higher awareness. Again, most of my stones are for intuition. Those are the ones I like to work with. So this is going to be helping with the visualization and the inner eye. So a lot of my stones are either going to be third eye or throat chakra, because those are just the ones that I personally work with. All right, so this one is not a tumble stone, but I thought it was really kind of pretty. It's got a lot of little sparkle in it. And so this is Ocean Jasper. So this is a stone of happiness and joy. Helps you find peace and contentment with your life. So this one, you know, if you are setting an intention for 2019, and this is going to help you find peace and contentment with life, it might be a good one to kind of work with right now. That's not what I bought it for, but... And again, see, like, this is really pretty and stuff, but I'm not going to carry this in my pocket. It's too big. It's pointy. It's kind of sharp. Definitely would not be putting this one in my bra. But, so that's why I like the smaller, the tumbled stones, because they are a lot easier or more convenient for me to work with them. But again, it's a very pretty stone. It came in this set. And again, it was one of those things where I could have bought one stone for, I don't know what the cost was, or I got a 4-stone set for less or equal money. I can't remember what it was now. So, but so that's Ocean Jasper. And this one I think is really pretty. I think this is the one I bought it for, but who knows? I could have bought it for the Spectrolite, because it's been sitting here forever now, like for over a month, for me to try to get to show you this. So this is Laguna Agate. I think this is a very pretty, I don't know if the light is better or worse. Yeah, that's the back side. It's not really as pretty as it is the front side. So this is a root chakra stone for stability, security, and your life force energy, inner strength, self-confidence, and increasing stability. So, you know, it's a good root chakra stone. Even though, like I said, I typically buy third eye or throat chakra stones, it's always good to have a collection for all the chakras. Even because those are the ones I'm focusing on doesn't necessarily mean all the other ones are great. They all need some work all the time. Some, you know, some more than others, but we need to pay attention to all of them. So with that, I have to get ready to go to work, so I'm not late. We won't have a video on Tuesday because that will be New Year's. So again, it'll be next Thursday that we have our next video. Not exactly sure what it's going to be about yet. Maybe I will work on something for either, like I said, the everybody's talking about how great 2019 is going to be for all these astrological reasons and metaphysical reasons and stuff. So maybe I'll see if I can find something about that to start the new year with. And then we'll go into, like I said, maybe something for just some basics on your moon, sun, and like rising symbols, so that you have that basic knowledge before we start talking about the actual zodiacs and their purpose and their meanings. So that hopefully everything will fall into place and you'll understand everything. And if you're new joining, I've had a couple people new in the last few weeks. You know, there's all kinds of videos. If you scroll back through, there should all be titled with what they are about. If you don't want to watch all of them, I completely get it, but I would recommend that you go back and watch some of the first ones where I talk about who I am and why I do what I do and what I do and things like that. So that's always a you know, a good place to start if you want to watch a video. And like I said, if there's something that you want to learn more about, they're titled, or if you scroll through and go, yeah, I'm pretty good with that, I don't need the basics on that, you can skip over those videos or whatever you feel like. But they are titled for you, so you can, you know, as you scroll through, you can easily know what each video is about and whether or not you watched it or not before. So I will see you guys all back here on next Thursday. So just take some time and do your self-care regimens, whatever you want to call it, and you know, get ready to set your intention and have that ready to go for the beginning of the year. And if January 1st comes and you don't really know yet, you can still you can still set your resolution. It doesn't have to be before midnight on December 31st. You can set it anytime. And you know, so with that, I hope everybody has a great day. Remember to be kind. Everybody has a story, and your kindness could change their day and yours. So thanks for joining, and I will see you guys all next Thursday. Have a happy New Year.